about that. What's up, LTB fam? Travis here. Guys, there is some lures that are designed to catch fishermen, and then some lures that are designed to actually catch fish. But the Savage Gear 3D bat is designed to do both. The second you see this thing out of the package, you can't help but be intrigued by it. It looks exactly like a bat. It's got these crazy little levers on it, the bushy little tail. But then, once you cast it out and you start working this thing, you are naturally mesmerized by the little helpless, vulnerable action it has that is going to be perfect in drawing out aggressive strikes out of hungry bass. Guys, let's break down this technique, starting with rigging. The guys over at Savage Gear are the perfect combination of crazy and serious. Crazy enough to tempt wild lures like the 3D duck and the 3D bat, but serious enough to make sure that the action of these baits sets the industry standard. And that has got them continuous awards at the ICAST Best of Show year after year. This bat has these little lever wings here, and as you're working that bait in the water, it looks so vulnerable and unnatural, like something has fallen in the water, which really brings bass out of cover and to feed on this little guy. And then you've got the little bushy feather hook down there, which looks like little legs. I spool up with 30 to 50 pound braid. That lighter braid is allow that bait to have the action I need to get out of it. And I spool that up on my favorite bait casting reel, just a medium to fast speed gear ratio. And then lastly, my rod, I like a crankbait style rod because I want a lot of give in that, in the tip of the rod. This is the reaction stick from Sticks Fishing, and it's got a lot of bend in it. So when that bait is trying to go side to side, that rod is really having a nice little thumping action to it. So it's allowing that bait the freedom to do the action you need to generate those strikes. Retrieval. So the retrieve is nice on this because it's super simple. You just make a cast out, rod tip down, and with a medium speed retrieve, you just start reeling it in. And the idea is you want that bait going side to side, really flopping back and forth. Now you got to keep in mind what you're trying to mimic here. A lot of people go, well, bats fly. When's a bass going to eat a bat? Bass are opportunistic predators. They eat anything that falls in the water, whether that's a bat or a bird, lizards, snakes, ducks, anything that falls in the water, they can get in their mouth, they're gonna come up and try to bite as long as it looks real. So if you can get this motion looking like it's a vulnerable, whether that bass thinks this is actually a bat or they think it's some little sparrow or just something that's flopping and that's real, that is trying not to drown, that bass is gonna see an opportunity and it's going to eat it and ask questions later. Okay, some extra stuff to that is you always want to know the slow and fast ends of a technique. So you want to explore how slow can you reel that bait with it still going side to side, and then how fast. I want to see the fastest that I can reel that bait. That's why I want to keep that rod tip low because I don't want that bait skimming on the surface because then it'll lose its action. You want it still going side to side. And then with that, the last thing is throwing in a little extra action. So as I'm slowly working this bait, if I'm coming near some cover or something, I can give it a little jerk with that rod tip. And that jerk with that rod tip will give that little splash. And sometimes these bass will track their prey. They'll look at something and they'll be like, what is this thing in the water? Am I gonna be able to eat it? And when it throws a little erratic motion to it, that can trigger that fish into action. That can be the difference between you getting a bite or the fish just following all the way back in. Location. Now with location, we've got to go to places that fish are going to be looking for, vulnerable prey that's fallen in the water. And that's, first of all, it's usually up against the banks, right? That's where little lizards or snakes are going to enter the water. That's where they're going to be most commonly found. So when bass are up shallow like that, they're usually up there ready to feed, whether it's to feed on any kind of shad or bait fish up there or anything that actually falls in the water, like a little bat scurrying across. But then the second thing is finding some kind of structure or cover up shallow. The reason being is when you've got all this cover and stuff up shallow, these fish feel comfortable. They go up there, they feel like they have some cover and they feel like they're protected a little bit. They also feel like they have an ambush point. So if you have real just bare bank, you're not gonna have as many fish up there ready to feed. But when you've got, you know, all these tules, trees and things, you're gonna have a lot of fish hanging out in there, and they're feeling very comfortable in that they're being, like I said, protected, but then they also feel like they have an ambush spot. And when this thing comes by, they think they have a great chance of getting it, and you're gonna have a lot more success finding fish that way. So I like putting it in little pockets around these tules, out in front of these trees, and this bait is very good at calling fish out. Where a lot of times if you have thick cover like this, you're gonna wanna punch, you're gonna wanna throw some heavy stuff, flip it in there. But if you've got something that with a loud rattle like this, and then these little wings that really put off a lot of splashing, you can call those fish out of that thick cover and they'll come in and hammer this. As having a wide variety of lures in your tackle box is crucial so you have the right baits for the different situations you face. And having this little Savage Gear 3D bat is no exception to that. Not only is it gonna be great for pulling fish out of the shallow cover and everything, but it's gonna draw the attention of your friends. There's no way that if they haven't seen something like this, this isn't gonna draw their eye. They're gonna ask about it, they're gonna laugh, but then the second they see this thing in action, that's where the real fun begins, because of how vulnerable and how helpless this thing looks. You just know a big bass is gonna mistake that for an easy meal, and you're gonna be catching some big fish and having some great stories. Anyway, guys, I'm Travis Moran with Lucky Tackle Box. If you enjoyed the video, like always, hit us that thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got so many videos, so much learning for you to do. If you're subscribed, you'll always get those notifications. And then leave a comment in the comment section below. I always answer every one of those. Until next time, guys, I'll see you out on the water.